everyone, this is Elisa from Anaya's Toy Box Crochet, and I'm here to tell you what I've been up to. Thank you all for coming. I love showing off my makes, and I love that you come week after week to see what I've been up to. You can find me on social media as Anaya's Toy Box. I am on Ravelry, Instagram, Facebook, and Etsy. Okay, so what have I been up to? So I mentioned I was working on, well, starting November, I started working on my working yarn, or my scrap yarn as most people call it. And I decided that I apologize for the noise, I'm not alone. Anyways, I decided that I was not, I wasn't going to keep my working yarn because it was getting too much. I had so much working yarn, if I tried to get anything, it all fell over, blah, 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 blah. I started working on Fiber Spider's Glorious Granny. This is what that looks like. I made 12 rows of each one of these, although I did mess up on some and make them, 11 rows. So I had to scramble to figure out how to make them 12 afterwards. I think this is one of them. No, it isn't. This one I just had enough for 11 rows. But I don't remember which ones were 12 and which ones were 11, but I did have to fix them after I started joining. But anyways, here is what it looks like. I'm going to see if I could show you. I did a continuous join using Hirschner's Worsted 8 Heathers, and yeah, I'm going to pop up a picture so you could see. It is huge. It fits like on the top of my queen size bed, and if you see the picture around here somewhere.
Queen size blanket?
No, it's not a queen size blanket. It fits on top of my queen size bed, which means like it goes a little over if it's a queen size blanket. Anyways, I used Heather's Worsted 8 yarn
that's still
to,
how big it is.
yeah, it's still big, to attach it, and then I ran out on the last square. This was the last square, and if you notice, it's kind of different here. The yarn is kind of different on the top as it is on the bottom, because this is the Heathers and this is some working yarn that I took out that looked like it. Anyways, I finished it. I used Premier Basics. I had an entire skein of this silvery gray color. I don't remember the name. I think it's light gray. And I used it. I was hoping it would make 3 rows. It made 2. Oh well. It's a scrap blanket. I'm not buying another ball of yarn for it, so I just stopped at 2. And it is still a big blanket. Anyways, that is my biggest FO. Last time I showed it to you, I was still attaching everything. I attached it in a weird way. Like, first I did one side all the way down. Let's see if I could show it like this. All the way down. Then I attached it like this. Then what I had to do is work this row right here and make it come back. Then I attached another row, sorry. I worked up that row, then started attaching again. Worked up that row, then started attaching again, all the way to the top. It was weird, but it worked. If I hadn't run out of yarn, I would have only had two ends to weave in if I hadn't run out of yarn. So it did work. It was nice. It was time consuming. It took me a long time to finish it. Like, I worked, I think, an entire day on and off on just the joining. Hi. The border didn't take quite as long. What is it that you want to show me?
I found money on the table.
Okay, go put it in your piggy bank.
I can't reach it, I don't think.
Oh, wow. I'll help you later, okay? Oh, this is the one. This is the one where I added. See, the yellow. It wasn't there before. I had to add to it because I had already taken that color and put it in another square because I thought I had finished. There was another one. I think it was a red one. But the red one, I was using I was holding together like 2 ends of the same skein. And I had some because I had made a project where I color controlled with this yarn. And so what I did was I just took out, the little bits I had left over from color controlling and made another row with that. But anyways, it is done. Ugh. It is huge. It is by far the biggest project that I have ever made. I'm glad it's done. All right, so my other FOs. So that, by Monday, I was finished with those. That blanket, so I decided to concentrate on this guy. This is one of those patterns I bought on, I think it was Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. I think it was New Year's Eve. I bought a couple of patterns on New Year's Eve, and I was feeling a little guilty because I wasn't ready to start it right away because I was working on the Prince Charming doll. But anyways, I picked him up and I worked him up. I did the eyes. I actually showed you the head before. I was able to I was able to stick the chopstick inside the head, which, yay, it took a little bit of pushing, but I got it in. So this is the alien doll. I think I'm going to make a mouth. I'm going to make a mouth at one point. I just forgot. I have it marked as finished on Ravelry, but I did forget to make a mouth. All right, so I finished him. This is a pattern. I never forget. I mean, the pattern is always linked. Everything I talk about that has a pattern is always linked in my description box. But I did forget to say, I don't know if it's written here. If it is written in my Ravelry, it is not. So I'm not going to mention the name of the, I have to find the pattern to tell you. So, but in the meanwhile, I used Premier Just yarn that I got in a giveaway from Crochet Done My Way. I am not completely satisfied with the eyes. I feel like I did it a little too far apart, like I should have. But you know what, with needle felting, you kind of do mess up the stitches under it. So if you make this mistake, although I did plan it out, I did use the pins and it seemed fine. I think it's just because I don't have enough knowledge on the shape of this eyes. I wish I just did it one stitch over. But anyways, it is what it is. I cannot fix it just because of, you know. It's by Shia.crochet. The Etsy store will be linked down below. But there is the needle felted eyes. I finished it yesterday and I forgot to put a mouth on it because I went straight to the next needle felting project, which I'll show you on my whips. But this one is done. I like it. I really like it. I just wish for two things. I wish that I had put the head a little lower, and I wish I had put the eyes a little closer together. Just like one stitch. I think I would have been fine. But it is what it is.
That looks cute.
You like it?
Yeah.
Well, he likes it. But anyways, it is what it is. It's done. I finished it. So then I went to, I have some working yarn that I keep in a bag that I don't put in my bin because I already have an idea of what I want to make with it. So I don't have it next to me. But anyways, I know what I want to make with it. It's just getting the time to make it. So I just keep it in a bag. It's a small bag. It's like this size bag. So it's not like there's a lot of yarn in there. And with this yarn, I had bought this yarn specifically for my son. He, when I bought the Premier Fruits, Sweet Rolls Fruits, the first thing he asked me is, Mommy, why didn't you buy a blue? I bought the watermelon one and I bought the dragon fruit one. And yeah, I think those are the ones I got. And I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't. And so later on, whenever I made a Premier order, I did buy the blueberry one. And I made him a pair of fingerless gloves because he loves wearing them, even in the summer. Because his sister wears them. That's her style. And he wears them too. So we went, when we were in Montreal, we went to somebody's house and it gets hot. It's summer. He took it off somewhere and we never found it again. And he was really upset because he really liked those gloves. So after I came back, not right away, but after a while, I did knit him a pair of gloves with this yarn. So with this ball of yarn, I made two, he's 7 years old, so they're small. Two pairs of gloves, and I had some left over, and I thought, ooh, I want to see what it would look like as a dolphin. So I took out my fins, the pattern for Fins the Dolphin. It's in my Etsy store. No, I don't know if it's in my Etsy shop, but it is in my Ravelry shop. And I made fins. What do I think of this yarn? To tell you the truth, I like the color changes here. And here, I even like this. I was going for a unique piece, so I don't mind the fins being like this. But the speckled part, I'm not sure if I like the speckled part. But anyways, he's done. My son has claimed him because, and that's perfectly fine because the entire ball of yarn, I bought it just for him. So he claimed it. It's there. If you hear background noise, it's because I don't live alone. And I had a little bit left over, so I made another heart. So this is again my pattern. I do have a tutorial for it. It is a paid for pattern in my Ravelry store if you're interested, but you could get this one too. Or I made this one too with the rest of the yarn. I don't have any more yarn. Hold on 1 second. All right, so those are done. Those are my finished objects. Whoops, upside down heart. Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, I can't. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I have some whips to show you. It's the same stuff you've already seen, but I'm showing, oh no, this one you haven't seen. So this one is in bits and pieces because I wanted this type of color as the main color, and I don't have enough of the yarn. I don't think either choice I would have had enough. I have this too, and while they look similar, they're not quite the same shade. So I started it with this yarn because I liked the darker color a little better, and I managed to make, this is a fox pattern, by the way. It's called Sky the Fox. I do not know how to pronounce the designer, but I will try. I have to read it first. Her name is, oh well, let me show you the arms while the iPad loads and I find the page. This is the arms. So there's the arms. I used this yarn. And it is, but I really, really cannot pronounce this name. It will be linked below. It is part of, yeah, it is going to be linked down below. It's always linked down below. If I mention a pattern, if I mention a project that has a pattern, like I'm not designing it or making it up myself, it's linked down below. And this one will be linked down below and you'll be able to see what it is. Anyways, after that, I realized I might not have enough for yarn for the body of the fox. So I decided I'm going to make the ears instead of going straight to the legs. And the red part of the head, which is what I did here. And then see if I have enough for the legs, the body, and the tail. And I do not have enough for the legs, the body, and the tail. So I decided I'm going to save this. They're really close in color. They're very, very close in color. This is a Mermaid's Purse yarn. This one is the Mermaid's Purse yarn. I did use it before. What the heck? Everything is so tangled. I did use it before on this blanket. And this blanket was, of course, I made it to use my Mermaid's Purse yarn, but I didn't use enough of it. These two colors are so very similar. They're very, very similar. So I think as long as they're not touching, it won't be noticeable. So what I'm going to do is the legs, the body, and the tail will be made out of this. I've already made the head, the arms, and the ears out of this one. And I have enough for the neck. I'm pretty sure I have enough for the neck left over of this color. So I'm just going to mix them up together. So this is kind of disjointed the way I made it, just because I was trying to figure out if I had enough yarn. I am right now on the foot, and I'll be working up the legs soon. I haven't been working too much on this project the last few days. As soon as I found out I had enough, I figured out, okay, as soon as I found out I didn't have enough yarn, I needed to figure it out. So I took a little bit of break from it. And then, like, do I want to restart it? I have orange yarn. I can make an orange fox, but I want a red fox because I like red. And I thought about, or I could do deeper reds. I could do darker reds. I had to think about it when I realized I didn't have enough yarn. So I put it aside, and then I made that decision that those two colors are close enough. I'm just going to continue the way it is and make that fox. So hopefully it'll be done next time. I haven't worked on it for a couple of days though. The last one I'm going to show you is this doll. This is, I believe the pattern's name is Poppet. It is the strawberry dress doll. I'm calling it the strawberry doll. I received this pattern from the designer. She gifted anyone who helped her test this pattern, the body base pattern. She gifted the book. She made up a book, which will be linked down below. I'll link the individual pattern for her and the book in her Ravelry store. I had tested the unicorn one, and because I had helped her test, she gave for Christmas the book. So the book she compiled is, you get a doll base and you get a lot of costumes, clothes, not costumes, clothes that will work with the doll, so you can make a dress-up doll. This is not a dress-up doll because I made a mistake right here on the arm. I guess this isn't telling too much. I used bobble stitch for something not too long ago, and that bobble stitch, like everyone does their bobble stitch slightly differently, was a 5 double crochet. Yeah, this was bobble. Yeah, it was a 5 double crochet bobble. So you do it like 5 double crochets, kind of. You know how you do the bobble stitch, but you have 5 of them. The pattern called for a 3, so 3 double crochet bobble. I didn't realize that, and I just went ahead and did 5. I did 5 for this one too, but I had a tighter tension, so it's not quite as big. You'll see the thumb is really big on this one, but not so big on this one. I don't know. I didn't want to redo the arms, so I just left it. And this right here, because I did the tighter tension, I don't know why there's a difference on the bobbles. I don't normally get tension issues. Like for instance, there are people who will work one leg and work the other leg, and it'll be the exact same leg, but one would be shorter than the other. I get that when I work with thread, but not with 2-weight yarn. And so I'm not sure why the bobble is different. I might have made a bigger mistake than I thought. But because I made this so big, the jacket is really hard to put on. This side with the smaller thumb goes on very easily. So this is not quite a dress-up doll. Like if you were to purchase this doll, I wouldn't take off the jacket. Even though the jacket comes off, the dress comes off, you could have potentially put a different outfit on her. If you have another outfit, it'll be really, really hard to get the jacket back on. But this is what the dress is like. I did not close, like I hate in these tiny pieces putting in. I have those hook and eye stuff. I hate putting it in. See, it's still open. I didn't put it in, and I'm not going to because it looks fine from the front, and the jacket covers it. But I hate sewing those in. I poked myself so many times doing it. I don't know. Maybe it's because these are tiny. I don't know what it is, but I can't seem to do it without hurting myself. So I'm not going to do it for this doll. But here she is. I have what's left of her is her hair. I am working on her hair right now. Ooh, I'm trying to, hold on one second. I am going to show you her hair, but I have to pull up the stitch that I'm working on because I didn't do that. This is her hair at the moment. It will go on top of her head. I'm making it a little shorter than the pattern called for because, I don't know, I just have. There's no particular reason for it. I just didn't want to do so much hair. Just making so much hair. I usually work the hair that I make on dolls with acrylic because I like the texture. I feel like the texture is more hair-like when I work on acrylic. But I am using the same cotton as I used for this, these strawberries on the hair, because the yarn I have, the acrylic yarn I have, I felt like it was too, I wanted brighter hair. Anyways, I'm using a, let's see if you could see this. You can't tell. But it's a 2mm tulip hook. I have 3 tulip hooks, a 3mm, a 2mm, and a 1.75 and a 1.5mm. And the reason why I have these in 2 and 3 is because Clover doesn't have a 2mm or a 3mm, and because they continue using the aluminum, my skin tends to tarnish stainless steel. So while I do have the Clover smaller hooks, the steel hooks, I could only use it once and then it's tarnished and then I have to throw it out. But the tulips, they continue to use the aluminum tops. So I have tulips in 1.75, 1.5, because I don't use anything smaller than that, so I don't need the rest. But anyways, that is this doll, which I will try to finish in the next, today or tomorrow. I have the hair, the shoes, and a hat left to go, a beret, and then she'll be finished. It'll all be in black, and I think that's why it took so long for her, because I would stop working on her and work on the dolphin, or stop working on her and work on the fox, because it is made with black yarn, and black yarn is black yarn. All right, what else do I want to show you? I'm going to show you my turbulence shawl, because I started, now that I got some, I guess, instant gratification by making the hat and the cowl, I went back to this and I worked up a little bit. Looks like a lot. It is actually a lot because it's knitting, and knitting is slow. So I worked from here to there. Now this is not all done this week. I have worked a week or so here before, but it was just so little progress I decided not to show you. So I had worked a few rows, like this much maybe, before I picked it up this week, and this is what I did this week. I had to go back to the pattern because I forgot it. But here we are. This is the Turbulence shawl from Expression Fiber Arts. I really do love the pattern. I am loving this yarn. I love, love, love. You can't tell where the color changes at all. You can't tell. And it's gorgeous. The ombre is gorgeous. This is, I have a lot left to do. I have a lot left to do. This is Elise Diva Ombre Batik, or Elise Diva Ombre Batik. I have never heard anyone pronounce it, so I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. But it's beautiful yarn. It's really, really, the texture is really nice, and it's coming out so pretty. And I got it from Villerita years ago, or a year ago, or 2 years ago. I have it in my dabbling hook bag, and I left the lavender sachet in there, so this smells so nice. Anyways, that is, oh, this is also a dabbling hook bag. This is the Sky, the fox is in there. And this is a, I don't remember, but it's a Studio Ghibli bag. That's why I bought it. What is it? Coffee, Yarn, and Cakes bag. I love, oh my gosh, isn't this spread so cute? I have the doll in here, as well as other yarns for another doll that I chose out yesterday, and I just stuck it in there. But anyways, this is my Turbulence shawl. The last one I'm going to show you is my shawl of hope. I don't sound very hopeful about it, do I? I made a couple of mistakes a long time ago. I didn't notice it when I made it. I noticed it now, and there's no going back. I cannot fix this mistake because this yarn is not froggable. I'm going to have to fix it during the border section. But let me show you. This side is beautiful, nice and straight, gorgeous. This side is not. I added an increase somewhere by accident. There and there. Now, first of all, frogging, like I did frog a little bit at the beginning because I made a mistake. I frogged the whole thing. I had like one row done, and it took a long time to frog it. This yarn does not like to be frogged. This is a Karen crystal cake. It does not like to be frogged. Frogging this much, okay, honestly, I wouldn't have frogged this much because that is just way too much to frog. But frogging this is out of the question because of the yarn and because it's a lot of work. So I'm just going to continue, but it does mess with my motivation to work on it. I'll be honest. I am not as motivated to work on it because of those mistakes. But here, this looks like the same as the Turbulence shawl. It is not, because this is a 4-weight yarn and using a 7mm hook. And that one, the Turbulence, is knitted, and it is in 4mm needles, I think, or 4.5 maybe. And it's 2/8 yarn. So this is not the same. This is just a few rows. It's not as much as it looks compared to that. I will finish it. I'm not allowing myself to start another shawl until I finish this. I found a pattern I really like on Ravelry. have the yarn chosen out in my head. I'm just waiting to finish this thing. And I will finish it. Not only can I cannot frog this. I will, if I decide not to finish it, I will be wasting the yarn, and that is not something I want to do. But here it is so far. It is not quite my wingspan yet. Oh, I'm going to show you the other side because that's gross. Here. Oh, you can still see it. Oh well, I'll try to fix it in the border. It's not quite a wingspan, but this is what it looks like. It is a beautiful texture. I love this. This is from Creative Grandma, Shawl of Hope. It will be linked down below. This is a video tutorial that I am using, and I love it. I love the texture. I wish I didn't make those mistakes. But, you know, what's done is done. I can't do anything about it. I can't. I really feel like I can't do anything about it. When I put the border in, I'll try to fix it that way. But until then, that's what I got. Anyways, that's it. Those are all my progress and my whips and my FOs, and yeah. I feel like I had a really stressful week this week, and you know, work is stressful as it is because I am working with children, and on top of that, there's special needs. But this week was a little bit more stressful than usual, and so I needed to unwind a lot. So I did crochet quite a lot this week, just because I needed that minute to myself where I could just unwind. Oh my gosh, it's so... Look, when I fold it, this is what it looks like. I'm finishing it. I can't frog this yarn. Honestly, if this had been made with a yarn that was easier to frog, I would have frogged the entire project and just move on to a different project. I don't think I would have had the heart to restart it after frogging this much, but I wouldn't have kept it if it wasn't for the fact this yarn is hard to frog. Anyways, it is what it is. I will finish it. I'm gonna commit to having sorry, one more minute, okay? I will commit, sorry. I'm in the living room. It's attached to the kitchen. I'm going to commit to doing one row every day this week and see how it goes. Anyways, I'm going to let you go now because I just need to. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to hear more from me, please subscribe. Bye.